Okay. Maybe I can have a volunteer or one of you kids. Can you come up here and grab this for me and open it? Come on up. Open this up. Show everybody what's in there. Be careful. There's some things in there. Okay, can you guys see what that is? Does any of you kids know what's in here? What's in here? Trophy, good guess. Not quite. Yes. Badges, that's close. Any other guesses? Yes. Medals, that's exactly what they are. They're medals. You know what these medals are for? Does anybody out there know what these medals are for? These are military medals. So these are medals that you get for being in the military for various things that you do. These are actually Fred Petrasik's medals that he got for when he was in the military, and he let me borrow them. And I can't tell you what every single one of these are, but do you know how you get medals in the military? No? Do you want to take a guess? Yes. You forgot? Okay. Does anybody else want to take a guess on how you get military medals? You want to guess? If you get shot and you get one and survive, you can get something. What do you remember what that's called? That's called a Purple Heart. You also get medals for when you're in battles or just for getting certain ranks sometimes. You get medals in the military. Why are we talking about military medals today? Well, let's get into this a little bit. Let me ask this question. Do any of you kids know anybody who has been in the military? Yes. Your grandpa was? Anybody else know somebody who's been in the military? How about we ask this question to the adults? If you've been in the military, would you raise your hand? Look at all those people who have been in the military. Yeah, there's a few of them, isn't there? What kind of things do people do in the military? Why are they in the military? Yes. To serve our country. What do they do? How do they serve our country? What kind of things do they do? What kind of things do they ride in? Tanks, yes. What else? Fighter jets, yes. Anything else? Do they ride in ships? Ships, yeah. There's all kinds of things that they ride in. So if you were going to be a soldier in the military, what kind of things do you fight with? Guns is one. Yeah, I heard guns. What else? A knife, you might. It'd be a little hard. If you got close, you might need one. What else? A bomb. Okay, what else? Uzis. Okay. What else? Swords? Maybe. Think bigger. What are some big things they fight with? Yes. Tanks, that's one of them. Nuclear bombs, that's pretty big. Yeah, you could. We don't use those too much anymore, but they have been used in war before. How about some of the other things I just said? How about ships? Yeah? What else? Maybe planes? Planes. How about grenades? Lots of things, right? So how do those people who are fighting with all those weapons, how do they prepare so that they can use those weapons? What do they do? What? They what? They dye them? No. So if you wanted to shoot a gun, how do you make sure you're good at shooting guns? You practice, don't you? If you want to fly a plane, can you just jump in a plane and fly and be good at it? No, you got to prepare for it, don't you? What are some other things? Sometimes soldiers have to go out into the wilderness or the forests, and they have to learn how to survive on the land. How many of you have been camping before where you had to make your own camping meals? Any of you? Yeah. What is the goal of fighting in a war for a soldier? To win. Good answer. The goal is to win. How do you determine who wins and loses in a war? How do you know who wins? What? So if you have more, you automatically win? No? Okay. How do you win? Good answer. You get the other people to surrender because you've won it. That's how you won, by surrendering. They might put their hands up. Have you ever seen somebody in a movie or somewhere, they put their hands up and they say, I surrender, right? That's how you win. Do you want to be on a winning or losing side in a war? Why? What was that? Because you'd get ruled by another country if you lost? Yep. I want to be on the winning side. I don't know about you. How many of you adults would rather be on the winning side? Yeah? I would rather be on the winning side in a war. In the Bible, who is the one who helps us win battles? Yes. David won against Goliath, but who helped David? Jesus helps us. Yes, God helps us. They both do, because they're both part of who God is. I have a Bible verse that talks about this. Does any of you want to read it for me? It's right here on this piece of paper in big letters. Come up here and read this, and I'll hold the microphone for you.
With God we will gain the victory, and he will trample down our enemies. Psalms 60:12.
All right. Psalm 60:12. With God we will gain the victory, and he will triumph over our enemies. How many of you believe that's true? Raise your hand if you think it's true. Okay. You should. Do you know who wins the battle at the end of it all? At the very, very end. Is it Satan or is it God? So guess what team we should be on? God's team. How do you make sure that you're on God's team? Yes. By praying, that's a good thing. Yep. If you pray and you ask God to be on your team, if you accept him as your Savior, you're on his team. Yes, what else? You can ask him if you can be on his team. That's a good answer. Yes, it is. Now, I'm going to end today because we all want to be on God's team. There's a song that I learned growing up called I'm in the Lord's Army. Have any of you ever heard of that before? Okay, it's insulting. Yes. Here's how it goes. I may never march in the infantry. So I want you guys to stand for a second here. Here's how you do when you go, I may never march in the infantry. Why don't you adults stand up? You don't have to march, but you can support them with your... So you go, I may never march in the infantry. Ride in the cavalry. So cavalry is like horses. They still use those once in a while. Shoot the artillery. That's another thing. So you go, boom, and you shoot like that. Shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. And then you go, yes, sir. Do you guys? What does a military person do when they say yes, sir? Yes, they salute like that. Okay, I'm not sure if I do it exactly right. If it's over the, but anyway, something like that. So I want you guys to help me with this, and if you adults want to, you can as well. Here's how it goes. I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly o'er the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly o'er the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. All right, you guys are in the Lord's army. You guys could be seated. Thank you for joining me. Now, when you go home, you can sing that song to your parents over and over and over again, and they would love you for that. That's how you're in the Lord's army, is getting on God.